Hello everybody and happy Friday. It is time for my Friday read selection. And today we are talking about Silent Sky by Lauren Gunderson. That's right, Lauren Gunderson. This one's a play, not a novel. Okay, before we get started and talking about the good stuff, go ahead and click subscribe up above or on that bell down below so that you never miss one of my reviews. Let's get right to it. All right, the back says, when Henrietta Leavitt began work at the Harvard Observatory in the early 1900s, she isn't allowed to touch a telescope or express an original idea. Instead, she joins a group of women computers, charting the stars for a renowned astronomer who calculates projects in girl hours and has no time for the women's probing theories. As Henrietta, in her free time, attempts to measure the light and distance of stars, she also takes measure of her life on Earth, trying to balance her dedication to science with family obligations and the possibility of love. The true story of 19th century astronomer Henrietta Leavitt explores a woman's place in society during a time of immense scientific discoveries, when women's ideas were dismissed until men claimed credit for them. Social progress, like scientific progress, can be hard to see when one is trapped among earthly complications. Henrietta Leavitt and her female peers believe in both, and their dedication changed the way we understand both the heavens and earth. Sounds intriguing, right? I thought so. All right, this is a beautiful play about one of the first females working in the field of astronomy, one of the first female astronomers. The reader, or the audience, I would imagine, if you get to watch this play in live action as opposed to reading the script. The reader and the audience get to see how Henrietta balances, or fails to balance, like so many of us, work life and family life, and how she can do everything while exploring her dream of reaching for the stars. Or better yet, how she can't do everything while she explores reaching for the stars. Because so many of us women try and fail to do everything. We are not Wonder Woman, and neither was she. It is an intellectual, very, very intelligent, intellectual play. It is artistic. It is heart-wrenching in so many ways, and it is emotionally moving. The actress in me, oh my God, I want to play this role so bad. The director in me can see it, I can envision it, but I don't want to direct this one. I would love to be in this one. So I started reading this play with very little knowledge about very little knowledge, okay? All I knew was that it was about a female astronomer. Okay. I knew that they were called computers at the time. Basically, female astronomers charted the stars and inputted this information and then gave it to the male astronomers who took all the credit. Yeah, so fun, right? I know there are still a lot of career fields today that are considered a man's world, and this is one of them that had historically been a man's world. Well, Henrietta beautifully comes in and uses her knowledge, and the women that she works with see their place, understand their place, and still have a passion for what they are doing, and they do it beautifully and wonderfully and honorably. So anyway, these computers, she goes in and works as a computer in the early 1900s. I was happy to find out that it was not only beautifully written with humor woven in throughout the whole thing, it avoided the typical traps that this type of play or this type of story often fall into, such as over-dramatizing the work and home life balance, or focusing only on the negative aspects of a woman in a man's world, or the lack thereof of balance in your life, and it didn't share all, that trap of not sharing all aspects of the story, such as the family, the science, and the love. There is a place in this for all of that. We got to see glimpses of her family life. We got to see glimpses of her career life. We got to see glimpses of her love life. I believe, as an author, that Gunderson was so successful at bringing all of those aspects of her life into this. I mean, plays aren't long. It is 62 pages. As a novelist, it would be hard for me to put an entire story, an entire novel in 62 pages and feel like I have gotten every aspect of the story with as much detail as I can, but playwriters give you the dialogue and they give you a glimpse of what the surroundings are. And then they let the actors and the director and the scenic design artist and the properties, all of that, and the costumes and the makeup, and they let that fill the stage and give life, I guess, to the story. Their dialogue has to do it, but everything else comes together on stage. As a reader, that's how you have to look at a play. You have to see the words and envision what the writer sees on the stage, what they imagine is on the stage when they're writing it. And I thought that she did an excellent job at that. Okay, characters. There are only 5 characters in this. We've got our lead, Henrietta, and her sister, Margaret. Then we've got Peter, the boss, when she goes to the conservatory. And then we've got Anne and Wilhelmina, who are her co-workers. Very small cast. I love working with a small cast of 5. And through her writing, Gunderson brings to life each of these characters in a different way. They all have their own story. They all have their own history. They all have their own desires and their own goals. And life ends up different for each of them. They all follow their own path for their own reasons. And even if their path is going along the same road as in Henrietta and Anne and Wilhelmina, they got there in different ways and they leave there in different ways. And I just thought that she did a beautiful job of bringing these characters together and showing us how they share their lives and yet how their lives are different as well and how they are separate from each other as well. Let's talk about the cover. It's plain blue, black writing. It is your stereotypical dramatist play service cover. This is what I like my plays to look like. Last time I talked about a play, it had an image of the couple on the front, and it told me what the cover wanted me to believe these characters look like. When it's like this, it's all left up to the reader's imagination, and I love it. All right, my favorite quote in this one is, "I used to think that to be truly alive, I needed answers. I needed to know. But all this does not, in fact, need to be known, does it? We do. Because the real point is seeing something bigger and knowing we're a small part of it, if we're lucky. In the end, that is a life well lived." That is Henrietta in Silent Sky. Okay, the real Henrietta Leavitt was born July 4th, 1868, and she was born in Lancaster, Massachusetts. She died on December 12th, 1921 in Cambridge, Massachusetts. She was one of the very first American astronomers, and she was known for her discovery of the relationship between period and luminosity in, and I'm going to say this wrong, Cepheids? Anyway, pulsing stars. That's what they are. So she was trying to calculate the distance of the stars based on their light and their pulsing light. Pretty cool, pretty interesting. What she did made history. All right, that is Silent Sky. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope if you have not already read it, you will. If you see this one going up at your local theater, go see it. 1, support local theater, and 2, it is a beautiful play, and I think you will really enjoy it if you go to theater to be entertained and be moved and just experience life. That's what this one does. All right, that is Silent Sky, and that is today's Friday Reads selection. Huge thank you if you watched this video all the way through. I hope that if you have not done so already, you will subscribe to my channel. If you want to be alerted every time I post a video, which I know you do, click on that bell below. And I'm an author myself. I've said it before. I don't know if you already know, but I'm an author of young adult, new adult, urban fantasy. So check me out on Amazon on my author page. I will put that link in the description below. And I will also include my social media links. If you have not already, follow me on LinkedIn, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, and tweet me at Nina_Soden. All right, everybody, happy reading.